people. Well, welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer, and this week on the show, I am joined by my good friend Pat Reber for a game of Ironsworn Starforged. Ironsworn Starforged is the standalone sci-fi sequel to Ironsworn, a small group gritty fantasy role-playing game that we've played before on the show, and since we played it on the show, has become extremely near and dear to my heart. It is legitimately one of my favorite games. I've been very excited for Starforged for a very, very long time. This is a game inspired by stories like The Mandalorian, inspired by stories like, obviously, like you'll hear in the episode, stories like Alien, things like The Expanse. It is a game about sci-fi adventurers taking iron vows, that is, pledging themselves on iron with a mission that they must see fulfilled at no matter what the cost, exploring uncharted sectors, undertaking perilous quests, unraveling the secrets of a mysterious galaxy. It is a game that is extremely cool. There are some absolutely mind-boggling, like, generation tables. Everything that I wrote in this adventure was kind of randomly generated, and it turned out to be, like, this amazing and cool story. And what's extremely cool about Ironsworn is that there are 3 ways to play. You can play it as an entirely, like, solo game, which I do very often. It helps me kind of just write and imagine. You can also play it the way that we did, which is sort of as a traditional one person is a player and the other is a GM, and then there are rules for playing it kind of as a co-op experience. They're all very good and cool, and Ironsworn is extremely cool, and the tables and everything in Starforged rules. I love this game. I'm a big fan. It's currently on Kickstarter. It has already, I want to say, like, tripled or quadrupled. Nope, it's actually got 10 times its funding goal already, which is fantastic. I'm glad. It is a game that deserves it. But you should go back it and make it a reality because it is a wonderful game. Like I said, it is legitimately one of my favorite games, and I'm really excited for it. I've already backed it. I think that you should do the same, and I think you should listen to this episode because it's really, really fun. Speaking of, why don't I throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show? Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week, I am so excited to be sitting down with my good friend, Pat Reber. Pat, thanks so much for coming on Party of One.
Hey, yeah, of course. Thank you.
So real quick, at the top of the show, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. It has been a chaotic week up to this point, but today really assuaged a lot of my concerns. I don't know if I'm saying
Likewise,
that
it has been, God, I mean, we were just talking about this before we went on, Mike. It has been a hectic week for both of us, and like today was a very strange like moment of calm, and it actually kind of makes me more worried for the rest of the week. It's that feeling of like, why is everything going well? Why are things good today?
I'm just going to ignore it. I'm going to just ride this wave until it stops.
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that mentality, and I think that's a mentality that we can bring into our game this week.
Awesome, yeah.
Things are going to be fine. Remember, things are just going to be great. We're just playing a good, happy, chill game.
Yeah, this should all work out.
So speaking of games, we are playing Ironsworn Starforged this week. Ironsworn Starforged is the sci-fi sequel follow-up to Ironsworn, which you've played before on the show. It is a game that since I played it on the show, I fell deeply, madly in love with. And so like I've played a lot of it in the sort of solo play mode, like sitting by myself and making notes in notebooks. So I actually feel a lot more comfortable like running this game than I did last time. And I hope that comes across as we play through it. So the premise of the game, we are out in the Forge. The Forge is a distant cluster of planets in a distant galaxy. The last remnants of humanity, a ragtag group of outcasts, have blasted through the infinite void of space and landed here. And this is a game of, you know, these sort of hard fought survivors making their way through this weird, like sci-fi space. It is a game of rough and tumble, low tech sci-fi in the vein of Alien or The Mandalorian or The Expanse. It is people going up against impossible odds, except they have laser guns. With that said, why don't you take a moment and introduce us to your character, and then we'll build a little bit of the scenario that you're running into, and then we'll put you through some danger.
Yeah, so today I will be playing Gam Stevens, who I've loosely based on Mikey from Recess. Just like a strong but gentle giant who's got a lot of heart, but maybe not a whole lot of book smarts. He is an explorer by trade. He also, just as a physical quality, has one bionic forearm that kind of has pinchers on the end, so he can pick things up with it. It also operates as a taser.
I love it. I love it. So Gam has a contract with, let's call it the space station Gamera 3. Gamera 3 is a research station. They have hired a group of freelancers to survey things in this tiny corner of the Forge to make sure that, anomalous activity is not going to put the people on the station in danger. Which is where we find you at this moment. What's the name of your starship? You have a small starship that you've come into possession of. What's the name of your starship? And tell me a little bit about the aesthetic of it.
So it's a little clunky. It is. I had to supply my own starship, so it's the best I could afford on my meager salary. I've named him just Mike, like just standard junk car name, I feel like.
I love it. I adore it. I'm so happy that you have a spaceship named Mike.
And I am just picturing, I'm picturing my own car, honestly. I have a little Mazda 2. It's a little, looks like a teardrop on its side, just without wheels. Maybe a few dents on the side.
I'm Googling it specific. Okay, yep. I have the exact visual in my head. So we're watching Mike, come down. You are arriving on the surface of a small moon. It's the first visual we get is you kind of floating through the abyss. You touch down on a small, craggy moon, and this is the moon of let's call it the. Hold on, I'm gonna now. Once I threw out Gamera 3, I have to look up a name list to stick with a theme. So give me 1 second. This is the Biolante water treatment plant.
Okay.
This is a supplier of clean water for a few different stations in the area, but recently, and I think the sort of scratchy audio recording hologram message that we see you listening to is saying, yeah, Biolante disappeared. It went dark. We don't quite know what happened. It's not a huge concern. There are other water treatment plants, but we just want to know what happened and make sure that, if it's as simple as turning a switch to reactivate the comms equipment, that we can flip that switch and get the thing turned on. It should be mostly automated. It's not exactly hugely populated outside of a small skeleton crew, but we just want to make sure that it's okay, that there's not a situation, and if there is, that we know how best to address it.
Right. It's likely just a tech issue, but
likely a tech issue.
Need someone with some experience out there.
Yeah,
in
right.
all that desolation.
It's a foreign environment, and so we want somebody with your particular expertise in dealing with alien ecology. I mean, it's a water treatment plant, so it is kind of tied to the local ecology, so we want to make sure that we understand the sort of what's at play here.
Sure. Yeah, sounds like my kind of work. Let me grab
Perfect.
my little companion.
Your little companion. I'm picturing, so that's a very specific, so unless you have a specific aesthetic in mind, something popped into my head.
Actually, yeah, no, sound off.
There is I am simultaneously dating myself and exposing myself as a particular breed of New Jersey stoner trash from the early 2000s. There is a particular episode of a cartoon called C-Lab 2021 with a little tiny purple and white robot.
Yes.
I don't know how to search for the name of it. All I know is it's the episode where the guy gets stuck under the soda machine, and the robot continues to come and harass him. And that is what I picture here, is this little sort of pink and white metal with like rusted bits and little chunks taken out of it and pock marks. but kind of like it's got a little bit of a face on the front, and it's sort of hovering, kind of like a Roomba with a head attached, and then occasionally like a robot arm pops out with a little handy tool.
Yeah, perfect.
And it's kind of just like floating around you, like it's got hover propulsors on, so it's kind of just floating around you as you bring Mike to land, and we see you come out in your environment suit. We see your buddy kind of floating around your shoulders and sort of peeking out in different directions. So with this, I think we're gonna make our first roll.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Because we need to swear an iron vow. In Ironsworn, a lot of the narrative momentum is driven by what are called vows. Vows are quests in other games. They are you have pledged to do something. In this case, that pledge is figure out what has gone wrong in the Biolente treatment plant.
Right, and I have no objection to the fact that this contractor is making me swear iron vows to them for a meager salary.
It's kind of the equivalent of signing a contract. Like, it's sort of the nature of it all. Like, it's more tradition than anything. It's just sort of the agreement that you're gonna go do the thing.
Right, it's like a soul bind with Uber.
Exactly. It's exactly the same thing. So, so this is going to be, I'm going to call this somewhat in like the dangerous range. We'll say that this has five boxes attached. As you mark progress on your vow, you will sort of move towards, like completing your vow and achieve, like finishing it out, closing out the contract, figuring out what went wrong. Your progress is going to be marked by like boxes and check marks in this sort of progress track that defines your knowledge of what happened in this water treatment plant. So right now you are at 0. You are at 0 marks right now. And whenever I tell you to mark progress, you'll mark one of these 5 boxes.
Okay.
But for right now, we need to know what your starting position is, and that's going to require you to roll plus heart. So what this is going to look like, you're going to roll 3 dice. You're going to roll 2 10-sided dice. That's going to give you your challenge number. These are not going to be combined together. This is not a hundreds. This is not a tens and ones digit situation. Mm-hmm. These are 2 numbers from 1 to 10 that's going to determine how difficult the scenario is. Once you've done that, you're going to roll 1d6 and add your heart stat, which is going to range from 1 to 3. And then that number, you're going to compare that to your 2 challenge dice, and depending on if it's higher or lower than any of these dice is going to determine the starting position that you find yourself in.
Oh, right. And this is me just kind of checking out the scene when I first arrive, assessing the situation, right?
Yeah, this is you kind of stepping off the ship and what kind of immediate scenario you're presented with.
Okay. Sorry, I'm checking my assets here to see if there's anything, but I don't think any of this is. Oh, no.
I don't think anything. What? Maybe.
Gather information maybe with my naturalist path.
We'll do that next. Yeah. For this one, you're just going to roll plus heart.
Okay, cool. Roll my challenge dice and... Ooh. Okay, so I... Plus heart is 2, so that looks like I beat the low dice, but I tied the second dice, which that goes to the challenge, right?
So tell me what numbers you rolled.
Oh, sorry. So I rolled a 5 and a 7 on the challenge dice, and then I rolled a 5 on my d6 and added my plus 2 heart.
Okay, yeah. So you matched one of you beat one of your 2 dice. I want to confirm to make sure that ties don't count as.
Yeah, I believe the tie goes to the challenge die.
I think it does. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you beat one of your 2 dice, which means you're taking a weak hit. If you beat both of those 2 dice, you would take a strong hit, and if you beat neither of them, you would take a miss. So in this scenario, You taking a weak hit means you are determined, but begin your quest with more answers or more questions than answers.
Okay.
You're going to take +1 momentum. Momentum is a resource that represents how in control of your situation you are and how readily you can take control of a situation and sort of reverse your fate in a pinch. You're going to take 1 momentum and tell me what you're going to do to find a path forward. I think you step off and you see the plant in front of you and all of the lights are off. There is no movement. It is a ghost town, right? Like it is the moon itself, the plants, there's this sort of iridescent glow to sort of some of the crystals that are jutting out from the ground. It's just, but for the most part, it's rocky, it is cold, it is barren. There is this lifeless sort of space station, and you see kind of the water pumps and the tubes, right? You see them kind of jutting over the head, and they seem to be running, but all the lights are off, and they don't seem to be running with any purpose. It seems like the only things that are running are the things that were already set on autopilot.
Okay. And I assume that I stopped on some sort of landing pad, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think my first move is to just step out, try to focus, try to see if there is just a clear path from the landing pad to the building. Maybe ask my utility bot for just a general survey, the normal stuff I would do when I land.
Yeah, I'm going to call this gathering information. Because you have your utility bot, I will give you an additional +1 to your roll.
Nice.
And I believe this also impacts one of your assets. So characters in Ironsworn have asset cards, which are little extra bonus things that define your characters. It's sort of a modular character building system. So I believe one of your assets here is going to help you understand the situation.
Yes. So I chose the naturalist path. When I secure an advantage or gather information using my knowledge of life forms or planet-side ecosystems, add +1 and take +1 momentum on a hit.
Okay, so you're going to roll you're going to take +2 on this roll, and you are going to roll plus wits.
Plus wits, outstanding. Okay. Let me roll my challenge dice. Oh my.
What are your challenge dice?
My challenge dice are matching 8s, which...
Oh, a match. I'm very excited because this is a fun mechanic. So on a match, something important happens. There are plot twists. It is a major thing that develops when both dice match.
Outstanding. Okay, let me roll my d6. Ooh, so that is going to be... Oh no. That's going to be a 2 plus my wits, which is 3, plus 1 is going to give me a 7 against those matching 8s.
Okay. So on a miss, your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an unwelcome truth that undermines your quest. You must pay the price.
Oh no.
Paying the price is a move that I'm going to roll some dice for. And then I'm also going to roll... I've also rolled some dice to determine the result of this twist, and I'm very excited about it. Okay, all right. So to peel back the curtain a little bit, there's a lot of random tables in Ironsworn, and I love all of them. The random result I rolled for Pay the Price is a new enemy is revealed, and the result I rolled, so on a match result, it is encouraged that you add a twist to the situation. And there's a table that I'm pulling from the original Ironsworn, which is a major plot twist table.
Okay.
And the result I rolled on that one is that the true enemy is revealed.
Oh no.
So it's really just we have upped the stakes very, very much on the first thing that you've done.
And this is, just to be clear, this is as I step out of the ship and try to focus my eyes and adjust to the darkness.
Yeah, right. This is
okay.
this is you walking out and immediately kind of. So I think what happens is you walk out, and I am going to. Okay, I know exactly what happens here. A door open, you walk out, and I think there are, we probably see as you were landing the ship, you doing kind of like landing protocols, right? Like you enter some numbers on a keypad, you know, a screen comes up, you enter your coordinates, the station, like you enter the coordinates of the station. Like there's a protocol, right? Like
Sure.
there's a
Yeah,
process
yeah,
to these things.
Keeping a record.
And what's weird is that even though all of the lights are off, even though there seems to be no sign of life in the station, like somebody accepted your coordinates. Which means that like somebody was theoretically here.
Yeah. Well, again,
but they were making...
I'm pretty sure this is just a tech issue, so.
Yeah, this seems like a tech issue. But they were making every effort to make it seem like they weren't. And like when you touch down, like a door opens and like a person in an environment suit like comes out. And they come out running. Their suit is torn. They are beaten up. They've got a black eye. Like they are running for you. And what happens is 2 giant vines from inside this door with giant glowing crystals jutting out of them at various points grab this person by the neck and rip them inside, and the door is just left hanging open.
Oh no. And I can see all of this clearly at this point.
Yeah, it was just straight up right in front of you. Like they were coming out to get to you and like were pulled back inside by these giant crystal covered vines.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take a step back.
Fair. A fair reaction.
So can I use my naturalist path again right away to try to understand what I just saw?
Yeah, absolutely. You can make, in this case, I will absolutely allow it to try and gather some information, to try and understand like what you're kind of staring down here.
Yeah, looking for anything. This is a bit outside my purview. Okay, so that's a 4 and a 5 on the challenge dice. And then,
okay. All right.
What is the skill for this? This is gather information, I'm assuming?
This is going to be wit, so this is going to be gather information.
Okay. So I'm going to get a 5 naturally, so that's a +3 to wits and a +1 to naturalist, so that's a 9 total. It beats both of my challenge dice. So
that is a strong hit. You are in a good spot right now. So what happens here is... So on a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. The path you must follow or action you must take to make progress is made clear. What you notice is, at least momentarily, like, her... no, actually, what I'm going to say is that what you notice is, like, as that happens, the lights on the inside of the station flicker. And you notice that the water starts to run green. Some sort of presence has attached itself to the main, like, processing, to something inside that is, like, tying itself to the infrastructure of this plant. There is, plant pun intended here. There is some sort of plant-based thing that is entangled itself with the machinery. And it seems to have taken out the crew. And the thing that you notice, the danger that I'm going to put you in as a result of paying the price earlier, is that you saw those crystals, those sort of glowing kind of iridescent crystals. You notice that a few of those vines kind of like jut out of the ground a little bit. Like those crystals that you saw embedded in the rock, a few of them burst out a little bit, and they seem to be between you and your ship. And they seem to be like poking around. They seem to sense that you're in the area. You seem to have been spotted.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
What do you do?
So I think my next move is going to be, I would say cautiously approaching the closest vine to me, turning on my little taser arm and just seeing if it reacts. Just gonna poke it.
I'm gonna call this. I think as soon as you like approach it, I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna give you +1 here because you have your augment, right? You get a +1 if your augment is gonna prove useful.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so take +1 for your augment. I'm going to call this facing danger, and I'm going to have you roll plus shadow plus an additional +1 for your augment.
Okay. So it's not my strong suit as a corporate drone, but let's see how we do. Challenge dice are a 6 and a 6. This is once again a match.
All right, now something special happens on a match here to set the stakes. If you miss right now, if you do not score, if you miss right now, your augment is broken.
Oh boy. All right, let's roll this baby up. Oh, that is going to be a natural 5 with a +1 wit and a +1 augmented. So
okay, describe to me how you like they come alive, right? They start thrashing. I want you to describe to me how you almost get entangled in some kind of a trap, and then make a heroic narrow escape.
okay, sure. So I don't know if this qualifies as heroic, but I am gritting my teeth and inching towards this thing with my bionic arm extended and taser mode just on. The closer I get to it, the more I turn my head away from it so I can't see it, so I'm not too scared of it. When I get within range, it does try to grab me, but it runs into my taser first.
Okay, so I love this. It runs into your taser. It actually kind of immediately I'm gonna say the crystal like bursts, and the vine itself kind of like catches on fire. Like, it is supercharged the second it hits the taser. Like, that electricity just like fried the hell out of it.
Okay.
And what you see is like it kind of, you can see into, there is a hole where the crystal was that seems to be like hollow and long, and like you can almost peer inside.
Yikes. Like, seems to exceed normal physical dimensions.
Yeah, like it is like the where the vine was seems to be like a hollowed out kind of like tube tunnel, right? Like this vine was not sort of created, it was like held in place, and the crystal was just protruding out. Like, it is apparent to you that the crystal seems to have been some kind of a trap, that like you were intended to either grab a crystal or try to pull a crystal out of the ground, and then the vine would tangle you up and seemingly pull you into under the ground, into this sort of hollow structure.
So is the crystal fully gone now?
Yeah, the crystal exploded, the vine thing, and you're just left with like you've kind of got two ways to move forward here. You can investigate this sort of like hollow tube in the ground that is only about, I'm gonna say, like baseball thick, or baseball like the size of a baseball, but you can see that it's like it leads to kind of, it seems to expand after a little while, right? Like, in a way that you could probably dig a way into sort of a natural cave, or you can head inside. Like, it seems like there's something underground, there's some sort of cave system underground, and then there is the actual treatment plant. What do you do?
Well, I feel like I should stay focused on my job if I want to get paid, which probably leads me inside the building. I'm assuming, or I guess I shouldn't assume, is there sort of a clear path for me to get to the building if I'm not too concerned about these vines with my taser?
If you're not too concerned about them, yes, you can take a straight shot and try and make a run for it. You do see several more of these crystals, so like it might be a scenario of it's going to be a dangerous move for it, but there is like kind of just pretty much a straight shot. Like I said, that door was left open.
Okay. Here's what I'm thinking. I am going to just kind of let my utility bot go maybe 3 feet ahead of me. And try to get through this quickly, and ideally the utility bot attracts any antsy grabbers.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna actually call. So I'm gonna say first off, mark off one of those boxes of your vow of understand what happened to the station, because you've gotten some insight into what happened here.
Ooh, outstanding. All right.
And also, I'm gonna say this is gonna be another face danger roll. I'm gonna call this plus wits because so the face danger move. When you attempt something risky to react to an imminent threat, describe your action and roll, and then there are options for rolling with edge, heart, iron, shadow, or wits, the 5 stats in Ironsworn. And when you're rolling with expertise, focus, or observation, which I think this is, I think like you relying on your bot, like this is wits, right? This is you acting on a plan and not necessarily trickery or endurance or command or speed.
Yeah. I think that's fair.
So roll me plus wits with an additional +1 for your robot.
All right. So my challenge dice are going to be 3 and 8.
Okay.
And my D6 is a 6, +3 for wits, +1. So that's a 10, max 10.
All right. I think you are exactly able to what does your robot have a name? I did not ask.
Let's call him. No, you know what? It doesn't have a name. Fuck this thing.
Well,
I'm treating it like a sacrificial lamb.
I'm calling it Buddy. Buddy is your buddy is able to kind of like predict like one or two vines come out and you're able to grab it with the taser and kind of explode it, and you make your way inside, and like every inside is like a large sort of power plant-esque setup. The aesthetic that I'm kind of visualizing is the Springfield nuclear power plant.
Sure.
It's the only power plant that I can think of in my head for some reason. But every surface of it is overgrown with plant, with like vine and fungus and crystal. Like it is, every surface is overgrown. It is like squishing under your feet. Like there's moss and weed squishing under your foot. And it's wild because none of this is outside.
I feel like I am just kind of grimacing and going, oh man, with every step I take.
I love it. I love it a lot. What I'm going to ask you to do here is there is a move here for as you kind of navigate this scenario. I am going to have you roll a little bit of a I'm changing up a move a little bit, but I think it's the right move here. Roll me plus wits to explore a waypoint, to explore a notable location as you kind of examine this place. And this is traditionally tied to another move, but I think it's the right move to make here. And if on a success, you'll be able to move some progress towards your vow of figuring out what the hell's going on.
Okay, this is exciting. This has some fun results either way. All right, my challenge dice are going to be 6 and 10.
Great.
And I'm sorry, remind me what stat I'm using for this.
You're using wits, and I'll give you naturalist on this because you are this is natural sort of fauna.
Outstanding. Okay.
So you're going to roll a total of +4.
So that is going to be a 4 for the roll, and then +4 brings me to 8. So I beat one challenge dice, but there's no way to beat a 10.
Okay, so so you get a weak hit. You have uncovered something interesting, but it is bound up in peril or reveals an ominous aspect of this place. You get +1 momentum, and what you see here is you see mark another box of your vow, because what you see here is, as you're moving through this, you see two things, one horrifying and one kind of illuminating. obviously you see bodies. They have been stabbed through. They seem to have been drained as if blood sucked by some kind of a vampire, but they have been sort of impaled with these crystals
Ew,
or these
ew,
vines,
ew.
and the crystals are kind of jutting out of them. Their blood has been drained, and they're all fallow and hideous looking. And the other thing that you notice, you're able to like look past that. You see mining equipment. It seems like they weren't just processing water here, they were mining for water.
Hmm.
And it seems like maybe they hit something.
Well, that doesn't seem right. That seems counter to what I understand was the mission of this place.
And the danger that the danger that I'm going to put you in is one of these corpses is going to start walking, right? Like, that's got to be what happens.
Sure, with the vine still through its chest.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
looking like a puppet.
Like lurching towards you, arms extended, going to grab you specifically.
All right, I want to size him up. Does he look like? I mean, is he like a scientist-looking dude, or is he like a
scientist in an e-suit, like kind of little spindly. I mean, looks a lot spindlier now that he's got no blood left in his body.
Okay,
But in life, pretty small and wiry.
the first thing, I don't know if you want me to roll for this, but the first thing I want to do is just say, like, no, thank you, and see if maybe he just stops bothering me. Maybe he's a friendly.
I am genuinely thinking this through if I want you to roll for something here.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually do want you to roll compel here. I want to see what happens. I just want to see what happens if this works. I don't know if it will, but I want you to roll for this.
Yeah, I'm into it. All right. Compel. I'm going to have 3 and 4 are my challenge dice. And then
interesting. This is going to be, I'm going to say, this is, you're not lying or swindling, you're not threatening or inciting, so this is going to be plus heart.
Plus heart. Okay. So that's a +2 for me. I roll a natural 3, which brings me up to 5. I just beat both of them.
Okay. On a strong hit, they do what you want and agree to your conditions. Take 1 momentum. This person stops in their tracks, lowers their arm and cocks their head to you and says, like, you would speak to us.
Again, no thank you. I don't want any trouble.
I am going to say,
If I can real quick, if he tries to make a move towards me, I feel like I'm in a defensive position so that I can.
Oh yeah, no. I think what happens here is, yeah, I know exactly what happens here. Lights in a hallway start to light up, and he points down the hallway where like lights are kind of doing the lights in a hallway thing where it's like the doom, doom, and it's like one, then the next, like pointing you down a particular hallway that like is covered in these vines.
Okay. So I'm gonna give him just like a thumbs up. I want him to think that I'm into it and I appreciate his help. And I guess just keep kind of plowing on. I want to check out some of this mining equipment rather than going down that creepy hallway.
All right, yeah. Give me a gather information on the mining equipment. Don't take your naturalist here, but do roll plus wits.
Yeah. All right. So challenge dice, I have a 5 and a 10.
Great.
And my D6 is a 2, so this is a failure. I tie the 5. But...
Great. Awesome. I know exactly what happens next. As for the results of paying the price...
Bear with me 1 second. I'm going to open a can.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right. We're good.
So what happens is... Oh, this is great. This is very, very good. What happens is... You go and you actually like pick up one of these like drills, right? Like one of those big kind of like the Matrix lightning cannon drills, right?
Sure, yeah.
You go and pick it up, and for a split second you hear a voice. You actually, like from behind you, gurgling like a throat full of blood and bile. You hear, don't pick it up, jump! And then the person behind you is like ripped in half by vines. The body of the person that was talking to you, that pointed down that hallway, is ripped in half as vines are now like full on whipping towards you.
Oh no.
The second that you pick up one of those mining things, you are labeled as the enemy.
I feel like I would say, I'm sorry, what was that? Oh.
I'm going to ask you to roll me to endure some stress as you see this unfolding.
Endure stress, sure.
I'm going to say take minus -2 stress. I think between this is not the first person you've seen get horribly murdered, and also the vines are coming for you now, so I'm going to say take 2 stress here.
Okay, so that is a -2 to my roll, right?
Yeah, or -2 to your stat, which takes you from 5 stress down to 3 stress.
Oh, okay.
If you get to 0, if you get to 0, you have to make a roll to keep calm and not have a breakdown.
Okay, so my spirit is down to +3, but my roll is still normal, right?
Yeah. So you're not going to make a roll just yet.
Oh, yeah.
You're only going to roll if that number gets to 0.
Oh, I got you. Okay, cool. Okay, and now I am reacting to these vines coming.
Yeah,
very quickly at me.
they are flying at you, which means I think that we are probably entering the fray.
All right.
So, when we initiate combat, I am going to give this threat a rank. I'm going to say this threat has 3 health boxes. So every time you hit it, you'll deal it 3 damage. So if you deal it damage 3 times, you'll knock it out of the fight. If it hits you, it's going to deal you 2 harm.
Okay.
And it is flying at you. Roll to see if you are in control. I'm going to ask you some questions. Would you consider yourself on the move as these vines whip at you?
No, I don't think so. I'm still trying to figure out who was just talking to me and what they wanted.
All right. Which of the 4 options do you think that you are? Would you consider yourself more on the move, facing off against your foe, in the thick of it at close quarters, preparing to act against an unaware foe, or caught up in a trap and sizing up the situation?
Ooh, I would say either in the thick of it at close quarters or caught in a trap, because I
think caught in the trap. I think you're in a bad spot, and I think that one makes the most sense. But ironically, you're going to roll plus wits, which is your highest stat.
Okay, all right. Let's roll this up. So that is that is a match of 1s. Which is just about as good as it could get for me. Let me figure out what the roll is. So that is going to be a 6 + 3, so a 9 versus 2 1s.
Incredible. So you are firmly in control. You take +2 momentum, and you start in control of the fight. So what you can do here? So what do you want to do here? Are you going to take action to reinforce your position? Are you going to fight against the foe at close quarters? Are you assaulting? So are you going to fight head on? Are you trying to like gain ground and get up an advantageous position? Are you trying to like take a decisive action and see some kind of objective? What is your game plan here?
Let's see. I feel like I'm brave, but not very smart. So I am probably trying to get out of the immediate situation and find a better place to be just in my situation. That would be gain ground, right?
Yeah, I'm going to call that gain ground. I think that's you're trying to get to an advantageous position.
And in this case, probably in pursuit, fleeing, or maneuvering.
Yep. So you're going to roll plus edge.
Plus edge. All right. All right. So challenge dice. I've got a 1 and a 2. That's
all right.
That's good. All right. So with edge, that's going to be a 6 total. It's a 4 + 2.
Okay, so you stay in control and may choose two of the following. Do you want to mark progress towards understanding what is happening in the station? Or towards no? Do you want to mark progress towards the fight? Do you want to deal damage to this thing? Do you want to hurt these vines? Do you want to take +2 momentum, add +1 to your next move, or I'm going to throw in the fourth option of get closer to the mystery of what's happening in the station?
All right, and I get to choose two of these, right?
Choose two of those. Two of those.
So I'm going to mark progress. I do want to. I feel like I'm just swinging around this drill kind of wildly and just got a lucky hit or two.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And then, yeah, I'll take the extra fourth option. I would love to just know a little more.
Okay. Which is perfect. So I'm gonna have you mark 2 boxes of your vow here, because I also on your match result I rolled that a true identity is revealed, and I think this works here. You blast these things, and what happens is like you see like all around you, like you blast these things with this sort of electro drill. You get a lucky shot, they kind of light up, they catch fire, and all around you, every plant seems to move. This seems to be some sort of colossal hive mind. And as that happens, you watch the water start to go faster in the pumps, and you watch, and what happens, the second box, is that you feel like there's an earthquake.
Oof.
The ground underneath your feet seems to shift and crack, and like bits of rubble seem to like fall, bits of plaster or bits of like steel and stone like fall from the ceiling, right? Like you are in a full-on earthquake as you are shaken, and it comes with this realization. Oh, this hive mind thing is much larger than you think.
This might not be a technical issue.
This might not be a technical issue.
Okay, well, does it, here, let me ask you this. Does it feel like it's clearly coming from down below, or is it just the fact that the ground's shaking?
It feels like now that, so what you have, what the realization that you're having is like, you feel the ground beneath your feet like pulsing.
Okay.
Like shifting and pulsing and kind of like occasionally punching up a little bit as though something is thumping up against the foundation of the building and the stone beneath the earth, or the stone beneath the building.
Okay. And are these vines that I just gave a little beating to opening up like the one out front did?
Yes, I think that they have opened up, but several more are like surrounding, which is to say that I think the fight here is not over, but like more vines are coming at you, but like the ones that you shot like exploded and withered and like burned away. But like there are more vines in this general area that are starting to kind of like lash at you, but you maintain control.
Okay. Yeah, I'm sorry. Does it look like any of the ones that I already defeated have opened up into like a cave, like the one out front did?
In here, not really. Like, yes and so no, but you kind of like, but like you've shot a clearing, I'm going to say, that you can kind of start to like trace some of these vines into sort of gaps in the walls, into pipes, or into various pipes. Like you can see that like the vines themselves are coming in, coming from various spots around the building. Like it's going, so you can kind of start to like trace where they are, where they have their sort of origin point, at least in terms of the water treatment plant, and confirming your worst fears, it is exactly down that hallway. So it's a bit of a, do you face whatever this is head on, or do you try to take a back door?
Okay. Let me think about this for a second. It's unrealistic, I feel like, for me to take this drill and drill straight down and try to take a shortcut that way without being attacked by these vines.
I mean, it is a sci-fi story, so unrealistic is an interesting question.
You're right. You know what? I have a brilliant idea, which is to try to use this drill to get through the floor below me as quickly as possible. See if I can take a direct route to the source of this thing.
All right. Yep. Hit it. Roll me This is going to be roll me. So you've got 3 progress on this fight, and I'm going to say you're going to roll an action using +3 using your progress, and I'm going to give you +1 for having this drill.
Okay. So +4 total.
Yeah.
So my challenge dice are going to come to a 1 and a 2. I feel good about that.
I'm so happy about that, because I also just really want this to happen. But I like rolling dice. I like the possibility of things going wrong here. But you're gonna drill into the ground. It's just a matter of like if stuff goes horribly wrong.
What happens next? Yeah. Well, I get a success. It's a 9 total. Strong hit.
So take +1 momentum. You maintain control. I'm gonna say that you're out of the fight. Like you escape the fight. Because what happens is, like, this thing tears through the ground, like, very quickly. Like, it is a drill. So, like, it tears through the foundation of the building very quickly. And what happens next is you think that it should take time to drill through the surface of this moon. It happens immediately. It is... quite literal, like it is cracking an egg with a hammer. And like the ground opens up around you and you just plummet.
Outstanding. Okay.
You land in like an open cave surrounded by moss and fungus. And you look around and you realize this cave is immense and it is stretching in every direction. And to the distance you see drill, like you see like industrial sized drills, like oil well drills jutting into this cave and stabbing beneath the surface. And like the second that you land on this cave, the second you land on this mossy ground, everything underneath you is moving and pulsating.
Oh my.
How many check marks on your box do you have? Like, how many check marks on your vow do you have?
Right now I have 4 total.
Good. This is a good time to mark the last one as I tell you what you are standing on. Remember how I said this was a moon?
Yes.
Kind of starts to feel like this might in fact be more of an egg.
Yee.
This, in fact, might just be one giant thing.
Okay.
All of these vines and, like, lights and crystals are, like, swirling around you, and you are alone in this giant, pulsating, like, natural fungal cave of this colossal, moon-sized hive mind that has built itself this little sort of, like... not so much of an egg. I think egg is the wrong term, but like it has built itself kind of just a shell,
okay,
or a cocoon, or something like
Ooh,
it. Like
cocoon.
everything under the surface of this moon is one giant thriving fungal natural hive mind thing.
Cocoon creeps the hell out of me. So let's go with that.
Yeah.
So it feels like a good time to be a naturalist.
Mm-hmm.
I would say, I am going to try to gather information. I think what I'm looking for is, like a heart. I want to see if I can just sort of recognize the natural structures, that would lead to a heart.
I like that. I love that. Yeah, give me a wits roll and add your naturalist.
All right. So challenge dice, we're going to see a 3 and a 5.
Okay.
And my D6 roll is going to be a natural 6.
Fabulous.
Should be both of them, but total, just for posterity, is going to be a 10. Max 10.
What you realize now that you're under the surface of the cocoon, you realize 2 things. I am going to introduce a danger here.
Okay.
There's now a ticking clock, because you notice 2 things. On the underside of this moon, on the underside of the cocoon, the vines, you recognize this from your studies, from your knowledge of biology, and like you recognize immediately, the vines are against the surface of the cocoon of the moon, in a vein structure. You recognize their vein structure, and you see like the crystals are all pointing in a particular direction. Like you have a pretty clear map to where the heart of this thing is.
Okay.
The ticking clock is that you realize that like it is that what you thought was like moon rock was sort of more like a spun sort of mineral construct, and it's repairing the gap in its biostructure, in its cocoon, right? So you're seeing like rock forming and slowly but steadily sealing that hole shut that you just punched in your in this cocoon.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay.
This is great.
I still have the drill with me, I assume, right?
You still have the drill.
Okay.
You also still have your buddy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It just like floats down effortlessly, and it's just hovering and just looks happy as a clown.
Yeah, it's having a great time. Let me describe my ultimate plan, and maybe we can break this up into a few steps.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to go for the heart of this thing and basically just hope to whatever there is in this universe that this opens up the sort of tunnel that goes back up to that first vine that I killed, and I can get back to my ship before this thing dies entirely.
Okay.
That's the ultimate plan, just assessing the situation from here. So obviously I can adapt as a change.
I'm going to call this, so I'm going to say this is going to be 2 rolls. Yeah, this is going to be 3. I'm going to have you roll 3 rolls here.
Okay.
I'm going to have you roll a gather information to find the heart of this thing. I'm going to have you roll a face danger to blow a hole with your drill so that like you can find this tunnel. Or rather hold on. I've got to think through how I want this to work. So let me make sure that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
Your plan is to find the heart of this thing, shoot it with a giant drill, and hope that like in the chaos you can find the cave that was on the other side of your ship.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm trying to find almost a shortcut that just goes right up to my ship, very narratively convenient, and gets me out of here.
Yep. Then I'm gonna call that. I'm gonna call finding that cave. Securing. Roll me securing an advantage, and I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna call this plus wits. This feels like wits.
Outstanding.
Expertise, focus, and observation.
Into that. All right. So is that the first one that you want me to do?
Yeah. Roll me that first as you're trying to find the cave that you need to get through.
Okay. Challenge dice for this one are going to be a 2 and a 7. That's a nice wide range. My natural roll is going to be a 6 again, plus my 3 wits, so that's a 9. That's a strong hit.
That's a strong hit. Take +2 momentum and add +1 on your next move. Yeah, you're able to find this cave exactly. Like you're able to like follow along with it. What you notice is that it has built a cluster of vines and crystals around this as it is trying to not just repair this hole in the cave, but like replace the whole, like replace the vine that had embodied this little like service tunnel, this little tube that it was going to spit a vine out of.
Awesome. I'm still pretty grossed out by the whole thing, but I am at least excited to have found.
I'm gonna have you take. I would like for you to take stress here.
Okay.
As all of this is unfolding, just the realization of all of this feels like a good time to have you take stress.
I'm doing it all, but I'm still just going, Jesus, come on.
Take one. I'm gonna say take one. Suffer one -1 spirit for minor stress of just the realization that all of this is going on.
Okay, I'm closer to hopelessly depressed.
And I think the last thing I'm gonna do is have this as a fight. Because I think the second you fire up that drill, vines are going to be coming at you. Things are going to be lashing out. I think that you are able to find the heart of this thing. Or rather, you find it, but it is this giant, like, world tree looking thing that, like, that drill's not necessarily going to be able to blow up.
Okay.
But you can at least blow your way out of this moon. You can punch through the vine cluster that's going to get you back to your ship.
Okay, so I am abandoning the idea of destroying this thing. I guess whether I do... So that's a good point, actually. Whether I destroy it or not, I am probably not getting paid at this point because I have not fixed the problem.
Well, we'll figure that out in a bit. You've identified the problem, and that's valuable.
That's true.
So you know what? Let's say you can try and destroy this thing. I mean, this is a giant moon monster.
Yeah. Okay. That's also an excellent point. Maybe I am at least convinced that I'm providing more value to the company if I destroy this monster, with the assumption that this is just a lost cause at this point.
Sure. Okay, then we're gonna enter into a fray. This thing is gonna be dangerous to a point where when you hit it, you're gonna do +2 to a progress track of destroying this thing, which means that it's basically got 5 health points, and it's gonna deal you 3 harm on a hit. Because this is the giant heart of a planet-sized vine creature.
Oh boy. Okay. The things I'll do for $1.
Okay. We have to roll if you are in control or not, and I think this is for sure in the thick of it at close quarters.
Okay, sure. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's enter the fray. My challenge dice are going to be a 6 and a 7. And my D6 is going to be a 5 plus my iron, which comes to a 7 total, but I have +1 on this roll, which comes to an 8. That's a strong hit.
Strong hit. Take 2 momentum, and you begin in control.
Outstanding. I am maxed out on momentum, but I will control the hell out of this situation.
So what that means is that at any point, if you roll, you can just declare that you roll a 10.
Outstanding. Okay.
What's your plan here?
All right. So, first thing I'm going to do is swing the drill at it. This thing is on, and I am swinging it around wildly because I am not experienced with it.
I'm going to call that striking. You are in control. You are assaulting a foe at close quarters. Roll plus iron.
All right. We have a 5 and a 6 for the challenge dice. A 3 and then +2 for my iron. So that's going to be a miss.
Do you want this to be a miss, or do you want to burn momentum?
On this one, I'm just going to take the L, I think. I'm swinging around a weapon I don't understand.
Okay. You're going to pay the price. You're going to take, I think it immediately, like, it stabs you right in the gut, and you're going to take 3 harm.
Oof.
So you're going to reduce your health by 3.
Okay. I do not love that.
And I think what happens is... Yeah, that is what happens, and you are going to lose control.
Oh, boy.
And it is going to strike at you. You are going to roll me again. Now you're going to roll me... I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you this. You've been stabbed. You're bleeding pretty hard. Things are lashing out at you. Are you trying to fight? Are you trying to take cover? Or are you trying to get away?
So ultimately, I think I am scared by that stab to the gut, and I am just going to start booking it for the tunnel.
Okay, give me a react under fire.
React under fire. So this is going to be plus...
Yeah, you
Edge, I
are.
guess?
Yes, I think you're fleeing. So roll me plus edge.
Certainly not remaining stalwart against fear or temptation.
No, no, that is not what is happening here.
All right. Sorry, let me check my stat sheet real quick. Edge is going to be a +1. Challenge dice are a 4 and a 7. All right, that is actually going to be, so I rolled a 6 +1, so that is a weak hit.
It's a weak hit. A weak hit. You succeed. You gonna burn momentum, or you want to take a weak hit?
No, you know what? I'm going to take it.
All right. You succeed, but face a troublesome cost. You stay in a bad spot, and take an additional -1 health as you're bleeding out now. Like, you're pretty close to.
Yeah, I am.
You're in a bad spot.
Rough. Not dead yet.
I think what is happening now is, like, you are getting close, and I think several, like, things drop in front of you, and, like, with vines still stabbed through them, there are several researchers that are, like, hovering around to try and, like, grab you, to see if they can, like, fully grab you and bring you in, and...
No, thank you.
No, thank you. What is your plan right now?
I still have the drill. I didn't lose the drill in that.
You still have the drill.
Okay, this is going to be my big push. I think I'm, again, just wildly swinging this thing around, just trying to clear a path in front of me so I can run for that tunnel.
Love it. So you are going to roll me plus iron. You were going to roll me plus iron because you are in a bad spot and are fighting back against a foe at close quarters.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it. Challenge dice are going to be a 5 and an 8. The roll here is it's going to be a 6, which would put me at a weak hit. I think I am going to burn my momentum on this one, though, and just take a straight up 10.
All right, yeah, so you're going to mark progress twice. So you are going to deal this thing 4 out of its 10 damage. You fry these zombie researchers.
Outstanding.
You've also overwhelmed your foe and are in control.
All right.
So what is your plan now?
So I'm still scared as hell, and those zombie researchers didn't help. So I am booking it. I am fleeing and just trying to get back to my ship. I've given up on any other goal.
All right. You are going to roll me gaining ground. In pursuit, fleeing, or maneuvering, roll me plus edge.
Gaining ground. Okay. Challenge dice are going to be a 5 and an 8. And my roll, oh goodness, is a 3. That is just a miss.
On a miss, your foe gains the upper hand. The fight moves to a new location. You encounter a new peril. You are in a bad spot and must pay the price.
No.
Let me roll. I'm going to see what happens here. I roll a 54 on this table. I'm going to say, your buddy is grabbed and takes 3 damage.
Oh, damn. All right.
As it is being ripped to shreds.
It's so expensive, though. 1, 2, 3. All right. I mean, that's better than me taking damage. I'm not particularly attached to this thing. I'm just mad about the actual cost. All right. Is there anything else that I'm suffering for this?
I don't think so. I think that's going to be what it is. I think I'm going to put an objective on the board that there's like a partial collapse as like in the chaos, and your ship Mike is sort of like half submerged, half in this cave and half out of it.
Okay.
So at any point, if you have control, you can attempt to make a progress move and take an objective, which is to get to your ship and take off. But right now you do not have control,
I am
and I think
in no way in control. Yeah.
it is trying to continue to lash out at you, and you are just up against more of these vines. What are you doing?
And I am still in the fray here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Bear with me one moment here. Just thinking. I have a drill. I have an electrified arm. I have a little buddy. You know what? I am going to try to use my utility bot. I am going to give him what he understands, I think, as a command to just take a closer look at these vines. But really, the goal is just, again, he is my little sacrificial baby. I'm just throwing him out there to try to take some heat off of me.
I am going to call this gaining ground. No, this is reacting under fire.
Okay.
And this is...
Changing the plan, finding a way out.
Yeah, this is plus wits.
Outstanding. Okay. Let's roll these challenge dice. That's going to be a matching 2. That's good for me.
It's good.
And that is going to be a 5 on the die, so an 8 total.
Effortless. Effortless.
I effortlessly sacrifice my friend.
So what actually happens is your friend explodes. Buddy blows up. A bunch of the vines go down. I am going to let me look at the combat moves for the move that you're taking here. You succeed, take control, and you get +1 momentum. What I'm going to add to this is another progress is going to get made, so that's going to put it at 6 out of 10.
Hey, oh.
And what I'm going to add to this is, because of the match result, I think what happens is, so the result that I got, the twist that I got, and I'm trying to think this through, what the juiciest option is that your actions have benefited an enemy, but I don't want it to necessarily be the the planet here, the moon here.
Ooh.
What I think it's going to be, what I think it is
it benefits my employer.
It benefits your employer.
Yes.
So what I think it is when your buddy explodes, like it activates a recording, like a recording device on the black box that is like taking in the surveying of like the situation. But it also registers that your buddy has exploded, which means they are now like tracking damages that have been done. Oof. So it is they because the employer is not your friend, because employers are not your friend. They are like actively like penalizing you for doing what you're doing right now.
Right. I'm the last survivor here, so I'm the only one they can actually pin it on.
Exactly.
Oh boy. Well, I take a heavy sigh about that, I think. Feel like I would probably be familiar enough with the system that I would know this as it's happening, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not emotionally attached. You're the one that named Buddy, so
I named Buddy. You don't.
Sorry to you, but I'm not emotionally attached.
Thank you for the apology.
Yeah, I am purely thinking of myself right now. I feel like I've lost a lot of money on this job. The most important thing is just surviving, and then pleading with my boss to pay me something.
All right. So what is your plan right now? You have control.
I have control. Honestly, I'm gonna run to my ship. I got to drop the drill as I'm going, so I'm relying solely on my arm. But I am trying to hop in the ship and see if I can get it out of here before everything collapses or reforms above me.
So here's what's going to happen here. You are taking decisive action. You are seizing the objective in a fight. This is a progress move, which means you are going to roll your challenge dice, and your dice result is the amount of progress that you've made in this fight. So your result is 6, and now you're going to roll your challenge dice to compare it with a result of 6.
Ooh, okay, I see what you're saying. Am I, would you say, in a bad spot in this case? Or I'm good because I'm back in control?
Yeah, you're back in control. So you're seizing the objective. You're just trying to get to your ship and get the hell out of here.
Okay. All right. Let me roll up these challenge dice. That's going to be a 2 and a 3.
All right, that is a strong hit. You prevail. Take 1 momentum. There are no objectives remaining. You have actually. Let me flip through my my options here.
Is there a debriefing mode?
I want to see if there is like a spaceship stuff move. I don't think there is. I think that you would just roll your regular stats as though if you have a ship. Okay, no, yeah, you are just going to, you managed, so you just get the hell out of there. You're in your ship, it boots up. Now I'm going to have you roll me to resolve a vow. So there is a debriefing move.
Ooh.
You're resolving the vow to tell how good that job did. But you have 10. So it is possible, it is very likely you're going to get a strong hit here. Okay. Fulfilling your vow. When you reach the end of your quest, roll the challenge dice and compare it to your progress. Your progress here is plus 10. On a strong hit, your vow is fulfilled. On a weak hit, there's more to be done. On a miss, your vow is undone through an unexpected complication.
Okay. So as long as I don't roll 2 10s, I'm at least partially successful.
You're at least partially okay.
Okay. Let's give that a good hope. That would be a great ending, though. Let's see. Matching 7s.
Okay. I love it. That is a strong hit. Mark reward on your quest's legacy. So, you are markedly successful.
Hey.
You get your payday. You mark, we're going to say dangerous. So you would mark on your quest, on your legacy track, you would mark, I think, 4 boxes, which is putting you probably like halfway to filling something out and getting to advance and getting to move closer to your retirement. You got a great payout for this. However, I'm going to roll 2 dice here.
Can I, whenever you have a second, can I ask you about that?
Yes.
So is this more, I get a payday because I actually solved a problem. They realized that this is a much bigger problem and they're happy for me? Or was I able to kind of fudge my way through making it seem like I did something helpful, even though...
What you tell me.
You know what? I'm going to say this would have ended up a bigger problem for them. They should at least realize from that report that this was some sort of sentient hive mind plant.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, and I think I'm so happy. Pat, I'm so happy.
Oh no.
So the major plot twist that I rolled, the closing note that we're going to end on, our cliffhanger, was I rolled a 74 on this plot twist table, which is a new danger appears. You land. You're back on Gamera 3. You're walking around, like, you have your talk. Somebody comes onto your ship and they're doing like a routine. I think like a repair person comes and grabs your buddy. And embedded in the back half of Buddy is one of these iridescent crystals. And we just see this as they walk off with the damaged robot.
Oh my god. And I had just assumed it was destroyed, but now it's there with me when I get back to the office.
Yep. And now it is on Gamera 3 and we just watch. We get that slow alien like zoom out, the Indiana Jones like the horror movie zoom out of like watching the crystal get walked off into this like bustling space station. And that is game.
Perfect.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much for playing this with me.
Yeah, that was so much fun. What an ending.
What an ending. That was great. What a game.
I'm going to save that name too, Gam Stevens. That's too good.
It's a great name.
It's
a great name. Oh, thank you so much for playing with me. This was so much fun.
Yeah, of course. I had a blast, man. Thank you.
So real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you online?
Yeah, online, mostly just at Pat Reber, on Twitter. I am also on Venmo. Just look up Pat Reber. Oh, man, I used to do this as a bit. I used to give out my Venmo, but I can't even remember my Venmo handle anymore.
It's a good bit, is the thing. Well, great. Thank you so much for playing this with me on the show. This was such a blast. And for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take it, future me. Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Pat for coming on to the show. That game was so fun. It really, we got right to the action, and it just was, an absolute joy to play. I loved it so much. It hit the exact kind of genre riffs that I wanted to hit, and I could not be more pleased with how that game turned out. Be sure to back Ironsworn Starforged on Kickstarter. You can follow the link in the show notes. Back the game, get your own copy. It is great. I really recommend it. I'm really happy with it. It's a game that I love. Also, be sure to follow my good friend Pat on Twitter at Pat Reber, yeah. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Like the show on Facebook at facebook.com/partyofonepodcast. Head to our Discord channel at bit.ly/partyofonediscord and head to our merch store at bit.ly/partyofonemerch. You can also financially support the show at patreon.com/JeffStormer or ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. You can also tell a friend about the show, give us some love on social media, anything to help us grow and do bigger, better, and cooler things. The other thing that you can do is support the other podcasts that I produce every single week. Though it's admittedly we've been taking a break for a couple weeks. We're coming back this week. That's important to say. Another podcast that you should check out is All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast on the One Shot Podcast Network, where every week, my best friend, Aaron Catano Saez, and I take a listener-submitted prompt, we spin it into an original fantasy character, and we populate a shared universe, one story at a time. Brand new episodes start early May every Friday-ish at oneshotpodcast.com. Party of One is, as always, produced and edited by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Megaran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you'd like to inquire about advertising rates, press coverage of the show, or about coming onto the show as a guest, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com, or go to partyofonepodcast.com for more information. And I'm pretty sure that's all we do here, so until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance, and as always, party on, everybody.